KAVU 25 News Now weekends at 5:30.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman. Starting at the top of the show, let's go to Trey Mining with the first look at our forecast. Trey, this morning we had ice. So give us any more details on if that's going to last throughout the week.
Well, thankfully all the ice is gone pretty much. We had just above freezing earlier, and all that's well to the east now. Cold air, it's going to be a little bit more harder for that to exit because we're still seeing some Arctic air over our area. And cloud cover is still hanging in there. It's important that this cloud cover begins to break up a little bit, which is trying to a little bit. And if you have clear skies, especially, the temperatures will be very, very low early tomorrow morning. If they stay intact like this, we're kind of waiting to see if that happens, then that may be rising the temperatures a little bit more in the overnight lows. I think we'll still be at or below freezing, definitely coming up tonight. No problem with that, though. Well, there's a problem with that. We'll explain about that a little bit later on. Currently, it's 29 degrees and holding at that number for quite a bit. And dew points in the low 20s, very dry air out there. Feel like temperature, 19 degrees. Bundle up if you're going outside this evening. And overnight lows, we're in the mid-20s here in Victoria and pretty much around the entire area, even freezing all the way down to Port O'Connor earlier. And hard freeze tonight and tomorrow night especially coming up. What about the rest of the week? We'll find out later on in the full forecast to come. Amaya?
Thank you, Trey. The city of Port Lavaca was hit the hardest by the winter storm with widespread power outages, according to AEP. An average of 2,000 customers were impacted citywide. Bay City also withstood widespread outages with nearly 2,000 customers without power. AEP did not report the exact cause of the outages, but the outage map showed no outages in Port Lavaca as of 1 p.m. right now. There was limited impact on power throughout the rest of the crossroads. And while the crossroads were mostly spared from the worst of the storm, this is a look at Dallas that saw 2 inches of sleet and snow across the city. While some families got out to enjoy the winter weather, vehicles and flights faced major delays and dangerous conditions. Drivertext.org shows that most roads in the city of Dallas likely won't be cleared of icy conditions until Tuesday morning. And now to the travel picture in the skies as the storm leads to the massive shutdown of air travel across the country. ABC's Rena Roy is at Newark International Airport with the latest.
This morning, more than 9,000 flights across the U.S. canceled as the winter storm wreaks havoc in multiple states. Today expected to be one of the worst days in U.S. aviation history for weather-related flight cancellations, leaving travelers scrambling.
So I don't know what they're going to do because it's going to be shut down. You know, they probably missed a trip.
Some of the nation's busiest hubs hit the hardest, including Charlotte Douglas International, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson, and New York's LaGuardia Airport. Airlines say they're doing what they can by bulking up staffing, repositioning aircraft, and adjusting crew schedules. Some major airports even spending more than $30,000 an hour to keep runways plowed.
The Department of Aviation has about 40 pieces of equipment that are used to clear the runways, the roadways, the sidewalks.
American and Delta allowing passengers to change their flights at no extra cost, and United issuing travel waivers for impacted cities.
We had to leave our vacation a day and a half early, so that's kind of frustrating. We're hoping getting out early gets us in, but you just never know.
And of course, if you don't have to go anywhere, the best thing to do is just stay home and avoid this mess. At Newark Airport in New Jersey, Rena Roy, ABC News.
The Trump administration abruptly halted and then reversed pivotal public health funding to cities and states over the weekend. A notice landed in inboxes Saturday that more than $5 billion in CDC infrastructure grants were paused. But within hours, a U.S. Department of Health and Human Services spokesperson confirmed the pause had been lifted and no grants were terminated. The spokesperson said the pause was to implement a new review process to ensure funds are used for their intended purposes and in alignment with agencies' priorities. These grants support lab testings, emergency preparedness, patient care, and public health jobs. And more on the story of the man shot and killed by ICE officers. Officials are offering very different accounts of what happened. We must warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing. Here's ABC's Johnny Fernandez.
Chaos erupts on the streets of Minneapolis as federal agents fatally shoot a 37-year-old man. Graphic video obtained by DropSite News shows at least 5 agents violently struggling with the man before multiple shots were fired, killing him. Witnesses stunned. That man identified as Alex Preddy, a local nurse. His father says
he thought it was terrible, kidnapping children, just grabbing people off the street. He cared about those people, and he knew it was wrong.
DHS says agents were conducting a targeted operation on an undocumented immigrant when Preddy approached Border Patrol agents with a 9mm handgun. They released this image of a weapon. Police say the 37-year-old was licensed to carry a concealed weapon. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem called the shooting a tragic situation.
The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots.
But city officials questioned that account and whether Preddy brandished a weapon at all.
How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end?
Minnesota's governor calling the ICE crackdown an absolute abomination and is demanding a complete federal withdrawal from Minneapolis.
Do I have any confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing? No, I don't have a lot of confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing.
The White House blaming local leaders, saying they're inciting insurrection.
They need to evaluate their rhetoric, their conversations, and their encouragement of such violence.
The Minnesota National Guard has been activated but remains on standby. The city is still mourning following the deadly ICE shooting of Renee Good earlier this year. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
Following the incident in Minneapolis, during a press conference this afternoon, Border Patrol leaders called yesterday's shooting of Alex Preddy a preventable tragedy. Alex, a 37-year-old man, was shot and killed by U.S. Border Patrol officers during an immigration enforcement operation on Saturday. Officials said they were carrying out their duties when the shooting happened. At the news briefing, the Border Patrol commander said immigration enforcement in the Minneapolis area has not slowed down even after the fatal shooting.
All agents that were involved in that scene are working, not in Minneapolis, but in other locations. That's for their safety. There's this thing called doxing, and the safety of our employees is very important to us. So we're going to keep those employees safe. As far as the number of shots, the number of agents involved, that again is going to come out in the investigation.
Bonvino added that the officers involved in the shooting are back working in the field, but were transferred to other cities for their safety. Now, several Crossroads school districts will be closed or delayed due to forecast winter weather. Here is the latest list of school closures and delays. Victoria ISD has canceled classes on Monday. Calhoun County ISD school will be closed. Goliad ISD will operate on a 2-hour delay. Bloomington ISD will have a delay started Monday. Buses will run at 9 a.m. Staff will report at 9:30 a.m. and classes will begin at 10 a.m. Now, Ganado ISD has canceled classes Monday. Now, Edna ISD will close all campuses Welcome back. National gas pump prices are up by 1 cent per gallon. New data shows gas prices have gone up over the past 2 weeks. Right now, the average price for gas is $2.90. This small increase could be followed by more price hikes soon, but experts say they are expected to be small. Some reasons for higher gas prices includes a strong U.S. economy, which means more people are driving and buying gas. There are also concerns about possible problems with oil supplies. Leaders are also worried about growing issues with competitions between countries in the Arctic region. Even with the recent increase, gas prices are still 29 cents lower than where this time last year. And former Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding expected to appear in a federal court on Monday. Wedding turned himself in to the U.S. authorities at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Canadian Olympic snowboarder and alleged drug kingpin Ryan Wedding is now behind bars. One of the FBI's most wanted top 10 fugitives since March of last year, escorted off a plane in Ontario, flanked by FBI agents and its director, Kash Patel, who called the operation a united front of local, federal, and international partnership.
And just to tell you how bad of a guy Ryan Wedding is, he went from an Olympic snowboarder to the largest narco trafficker in modern times. He is a modern day El Chapo. He is a modern day Pablo Escobar. And he thought he could evade justice.
Patel said Wedding turned himself in Thursday night in Mexico, where he is believed to have been hiding for more than a decade. This photo believed to be him in a hospital bed in Mexico last summer. According to sources, the U.S. pressured Wedding for months, including seizing millions of dollars worth of assets allegedly belonging to him, including Olympic medals and dozens of motorcycles.
Mr. Wedding and others are charged for their roles in a transnational organized crime network, shipping massive amounts of cocaine, approximately 60 metric tons, through Southern California on its way to Canada. Mr. Wedding is also wanted for orchestrating multiple murders of victims and government witnesses.
A grand jury indictment filed last year also alleges Wedding issued an order to kill a witness sent to testify against him in a federal drug trafficking case, allegedly believing this would get his case dismissed. That witness was then shot 5 times and killed while eating at a restaurant.
Wedding is expected to appear in court Monday morning. Federal officials say they're still seeking others for their alleged roles in this organization, offering a $2 million reward. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In the war between Russia and Ukraine, Ukrainian President Zelensky says a document outlining security guarantees for his country is now ready and is awaiting a time and place for Ukrainian and U.S. officials to sign. On Sunday, Zelensky said the U.S. Congress and the Ukrainian Parliament will need to ratify the agreement after it is signed. Zelensky says Ukraine's territory must be respected, adding that U.S. security guarantees will be the first steps towards creating compromise between Ukraine and Russia. Experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Current temperature is still on the very cold side, 30 degrees or so, 29 degrees still in Victoria. It's just at or below freezing, going to drop down quite a bit tonight. Very cold temperatures still continue even though the icing is out of here. What about the rest of the week though? Any warm up? We'll take a look coming up in the forecast. Good evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. A very cold day today. Our high today, this is the high today, 32 degrees, right at freezing. Low 26 degrees. Will be colder than that tonight, especially if the clouds begin to break, which we think that they still will be causing temperatures to drop very rapidly into the upper teens to near 20 degrees. So if you haven't protected your exposed pipes, please do that. This is pipe bursting weather, I tell you what. And temperature is way under normal for both the high and low, obviously. And we almost hit a record, not quite 1 degree off of the record. Texas temperatures now, once again, we're at or just below freezing around the Crossroads region. Zooming on out, see temperatures pretty much in the 20s and 30s throughout the entire state, and 22 degrees in Amarillo. And the coldest reading I'm seeing there is Abilene, 18 degrees, 19 degrees in Wichita Falls, 21 degrees in Dallas. Even down the Rio Grande Valley, 30s and 40s down there to Brownsville and McAllen. So no matter where you go in the state of Texas, it is on the chilly side. Northerly winds still continuing to bring that cold air in. And we'll run the temperatures for the rest of the evening. We'll be in the overnight as well, in the low 20s, the mid 20s to low 20s coming up by early tomorrow morning by 6 a.m. or so. So definitely very cold conditions continuing, especially more than likely the clouds will clear at this time or probably prior to this. Those temperatures to cool very rapidly, radiation cooling. Temperatures for highs tomorrow only about 39 to 40 degrees. And once again, coming up for your Monday night into your Tuesday morning, another hard freeze around the region with temperatures well into the 20s and probably some upper teens throughout the majority of the Crossroads region. So be careful out there, stay warm, and make sure the pets, the pipes, the plants, and the people are warm and safe. And we're seeing a few clouds floating on through rest of the early morning hours on Monday with the clear skies. A lot of radiators are cooling to be at a maximum. Clouds in the Gulf moving on out. No rain anytime soon until we get to later on in this upcoming week, with maybe some rain chances by then. More on that later on. Port Lavaca. Temperatures in the 20s along the coast, with sunny skies again for your day tomorrow, with a few clouds early in the morning time, but the main story is going to be the cold weather. Highs near 40 degrees down at the bayfront of Port Lavaca, and low 20s in Cuero, and sunny skies out the rest of the day. Even though the sun will be out, it'll still be cold for the temperatures. During the afternoon time, it'll be about 39 degrees, 40 degrees at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And Victoria, low 20s, upper teens around here by the 6 a.m. hour, with sunny skies rest of the time period. High temperatures near 40 degrees at best by 3 o'clock. That's as high as we're going to get. Definitely on the chilly side. Wear your coats. Alert day for Monday and Tuesday, especially because of the overnight lows. Look at that, lows in the teens and 20s. Beginning to rebound somewhat by midweek. Another rain chance potentially by Friday and Saturday. There's an alert day here on Saturday. There's a small window, not anywhere near what we experienced, but there's a small window, maybe some frozen precipitation at that time on Saturday. As the time gets closer, get a better handle on that, with reducing cloud cover and still on the chilly side for Sunday. Try your best to stay cool. I used to say cool, stay warm, I'm trying to say. Wear your coats, big coats, and be safe out there. And of course, make it a great one. Let's take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. What you need to do is get your smartphone, scan the code. You see right there on the screen, that'll take you to a web page. You can download our app, News, Weather, and Sports at your fingertips. Easy, convenient, and free of charge to have on your phone. Be connected with us. There's anything going on in and around the Crossroads. And we got Ray Robinson over there staying warm and telling us about sports.
Thank you, Trey. Big signings this weekend. Walker Dietz to Texas A&M, Kiana Lee to Wichita State. More on these stars coming up in sports. The winter and spring seasons here in the Crossroads don't just bring the thrill of the game. They bring the buzz of signing season. And it's the electrifying time when our high school athletes step up and lock in the next chapter of their athletic journeys. And this weekend, the excitement was off the charts as several athletes proudly announced their big signings. Let's kick things off with Cuero star player making waves. Max, who dubbed him as Mr. Highlight Reel during our CFL months, well, none other than Walker Dietz. He has officially announced that he is signing with Texas A&M Kingsville. The standout wide receiver made it official this weekend on his X page. Dietz is joining a huge wave of local talent from our area, so folks of the Crossroads, especially Kingsville, might just be the place to watch if you want to catch the action from our homegrown athletes. And Goliad star track athlete Kiana Lee has just signed with Wichita State. She'll be competing in sprinting and jumping events for the Shockers. Remember, Kiana shattered several sprinting records at Goliad High School, including the fastest 100-meter dash with a record time of 11.8 and a third-place finish in the state 100-meter dash. Will we see her name make history for the Shockers? One thing's for sure, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Congratulations, Kiana. And yesterday's powerlift meet wasn't just at St. Joe, where you could see Crossroad athletes compete. Ganado also took part. Abriel Enriquez and Brian Martinez took home first place, while Noah Ybarra stole the show, winning his class and earning outstanding lifter honors. On the girls' side, Savannah Garcia and Abby Cox claimed first. Liliana Lazo and Reese Burris finished second, and Jaden Hernandez rounded out the podium in third, capping it off at the Tidehaven girls' powerlift. And the future of the Crossroads Hoops is getting ready to shine this past weekend at the Crossroads Sports Center. The YMCA kicked off its youth basketball camp and yesterday brought some exciting action on the court. Let's hear what referee Coach Brandon Kirby had to say.
And to get experience for like their high school careers, and if they want to go play college, you go play college, and just learning the fundamentals. I rep during the summer, but it's always good. So this is my second season of basketball, and we're all getting better each day. So seeing the kids grow is a good thing to see. At the end of the day, you're just gonna come play basketball and see. You're gonna be with friends. You're gonna make new friends, see new faces every single day. So you can get better, and then if you don't like it, you always just not do it next time.
Thank you, Brandon. Switching gears to the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs are gearing up to face the New Orleans Pelicans, and it should be an easy matchup for the Spurs because this Pelicans team that we're talking about here just has 11 wins so far this season. Tip-off is at 6 p.m., but the good news for Spurs fans is we got Wemby, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox all expected to play tonight. But can they secure the win quickly and stay healthy? But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Trey. And congratulations to my church member, Kiana. We'll stay with us. Coming up next, more weather updates. Today marks the 100th anniversary of the first Winter Olympics. The competition was held in France in January of 1924 and featured 14 events across 6 sports. At the time, it was known as the International Winter Sports Week. 4 years later, the International Olympic Committee officially named it the Winter Olympic Games, with the next competition held in Switzerland. The 25th Winter Olympic will begin February 6 in Italy and will last more than 2 weeks. More Winter Olympics, right?
More winter.
See, yeah, you know what? I always want to go to Switzerland as well.
For sure.
I love the ice skating. Now, I wish we could report some more on that with sports, but hey. Now let's go to our weather with this icy day.
Feels like Switzerland down here.
It does, big time. I'll tell you what, we have a freeze warning in effect for tonight and again for tomorrow night with temperatures in the teens and 20s. So very cold in the overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning. Be careful out there. Wrap your pipes if you haven't done so already. And then a little bit of sunny skies. Take us through midweek. Another rain chance coming up by Friday and Saturday. Stay warm.
Yeah, stay warm and stay safe. And thank you for joining us. We hope you'll be with us tonight for 25 News Now Weekends at 10. See you.